Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. And this is the last day I'm going to say that because we are now 7 days in. But this is the first live stream show for the new year for TFG Sports Media. And guess what? We're going to chat a little bit, talk a little sports. I am your host, Kendrick, the sports guy. And again, good Sunday morning to you. I hope everyone is having a good one. And again, good Sunday. I'm just making sure my audio is good. You hearing that echo? Don't worry about it. It's on and popping. I just want to make sure my audio is good. Again, so happy Sunday to you. And I hope everyone is getting settled into the new year. Again, we got some beautiful weather here today in Texas. But again, this is our first live sports rap show of the year. Been pretty busy. I've had a little time to relax. Well, not too much time to relax, but I've been staying busy. You know, the sports world never sleeps. It never ends. It keeps popping. And we're gonna rap a taste for about 30, 40 minutes. We got some NFL to talk about. It really is going to be the main topic for today. But before we get in there, make sure you come in, like, and subscribe to the channels. That's TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle, both of those on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow both of those on Facebook as well. And comment. Let me know so we can talk a little bit. Comment so I can speak to you. So we can converse a little bit. Make sure you do that. Also, again, hit that thumbs up, like button, get that algorithm going so it can branch out a little bit more into the social media spaces. So again, I hope everyone is having a great start to your new year. And we're gonna be keeping you informed. I plan to do in the new year. I want to kind of do a little bit more live presence on all social media platforms, even if it's not for 30 minutes. Just anything I find interesting or breaking news when it's feasible. You know, everybody's schedule. My schedule is kind of weird at this point. I do work an overnight job. And so my sleep and work schedule is kind of off, considered to everyone's else. But I definitely want to try to pump up my presence here live. Also, want to make sure everybody's getting on here. We need to get these views up. Watch some of the videos I post. We this close to monetization on TFG Sports Media. We just hadn't got those watch hours up. We roughly need almost 800 watch hours to become eligible for monetization. And that's the goal. I definitely want to produce content, sports content. That's my passion for both this channel and my channel, as well as and post it on Facebook and on Instagram and on TikTok as well. But at the end of the day, you do want you want to seek compensation. And speaking of compensation, you're not obligated, but as you can see there, I have my Cash App listed. That's $1969 Kendrick. If the good Lord puts it on your heart to want to contribute to this channel, contribute to my channel, I definitely would greatly appreciate it. My thing is, I would definitely investing it back into myself. When I say that, that means investing in better equipment, some more lights, microphones. Matter of fact, even just different video software, because I want to invest in myself and build it where I can actually go out and actually get camera and tripod and mics and go out and create my own content like I am creating now, but starting from the video part to the editing part to the uploading part. So I definitely want, that's my goal for 2024, is to get to where I can start investing back in myself and get my sports hustle on. And that's why I call my channel Kendrick Sports Hustle, because I definitely believe in hustling. Hustle means many things in different professions, but in sports, hustle means that you give it 110% on both ends. It's basketball on both ends. In football, if you offense or defense, you're getting your hustle on that side of the ball that you specialize in. Baseball, same thing. So all sports, you can say that about the same thing. So that's where we at. I kind of veered off a little bit, didn't mean to do that, but I guess it was meant for me to say that. So again, I hope everyone is having a great day and getting ready for some football. But again, make sure you come in, like, share this to your social media platforms and subscribe to those channels if you haven't already. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Oh, I got to give a shout out to my people out at FedEx Ground in Lindale, Texas. I think for the new year, they know I'm a Packers fan, and I work with some Cowboys fans, so we always ribbing it. We're always going at each other, and they made me a Packers glass. I got the Packers there, and then on the back it has my name. It has my name, Kendrick. You can, with that glare, you can't really see. So I want to give a shout out to my peeps at FedEx Ground, to Veronica and to Kelly for hooking a brother up. Plus, they gave me a T-shirt, so I definitely appreciate that. It is greatly appreciated. So let's get down to it. We're gonna talk. We're talking NFL. We know we're down to the last week in the NFL, and we've already had some games. We had 2 games on yesterday. Saturday results. We had the Steelers at the Ravens. The Steelers, it was a must-win for them to win that game, and plus they need a little help to get in the playoffs. They actually got the W at Baltimore. The Ravens didn't play any. They didn't play Lamar Jackson. They didn't play Odell Beckham Jr. They didn't play a lot of their starters. But the Steelers got the win, what they needed, 17-10 on a rainy Saturday afternoon in Baltimore. And then the nightcap game, we had the Texans at the Colts, and the Texans were able to hold on to win that one 23-19. Now, what you're seeing here in this graphic, this is the projected playoff picture right now at 11:08 a.m. This could change. As you can see, the top two seeds in both conferences is not going to change. You got Baltimore in the AFC and San Francisco in the NFC. They both have already secured the number 1 seeds. They got a first-round bye. They chilling. So, again, Baltimore didn't play pretty much any of their starters yesterday, and you can rest assured the Niners aren't playing any of their starters, I think, versus the Rams today, because they don't really have anything to play for. And as you can see, now these could change. These seedings could change in both conferences. That number 2 Buffalo, they are number 2 right now, but that's a big game tonight. The Sunday night game is Dolphins at the Bills. Whoever wins that game wins the AFC East. And basically, they probably will flip-flop that seeding. If the Dolphins win, they will be the 2 seed. If the Bills lose, they will go to the 6 seed and vice versa. So right now, it's the Bills sitting at the 2 seed. Chiefs are locked in at the 3 seed. They're not going to do it. Nothing's going to change for them. Now, Jacksonville, this could change as well. With the Texans beating the Colts last night, they did secure a playoff berth. But they could still win the AFC South, the Texans that is, if Jacksonville Jaguars lose to the Titans this afternoon. And I just saw it came down that Jacksonville quarterback Trevor Lawrence will play. He has a shoulder injury, but he's going to play because this is a must-win for Jacksonville. Because I think, and you can go to ESPN.com or NFL.com to get all the different scenarios because there's a whole bunch of them. I can't go into all that. But I believe if Jacksonville loses this game, they are out. Period. Point blank. So this is a must win. If they win the AFC South, and they'll stay at that 4 seed. Cleveland is locked in at the 5th seed, I believe. And again, that 6th, 7th seed, and 2 seed, that could flip-flop. Just depends on what happens today. Now, the NFC, again, like I said earlier, the Niners, they are locked in at that 1 seed. Now, the Cowboys is at the 2 seed, and the Eagles is at the 5th seed. That could change as well. Both those teams are playing at the 325 in the late window. The Cowboys are at the Commanders. The Eagles are at the Giants. Now, if the Cowboys win and the Eagles lose, the Cowboys win the NFC East, and they will stay locked in at the 2 seed. If the Cowboys lose and the Eagles win, they would just flip-flop. The Eagles would be the 2 seed. The Cowboys would be the 5th seed. Now, if both of them lose, then you will go to the tiebreaker, I think, which is who has the better divisional record. And I think the Cowboys does. So if they both lose, the Cowboys would win the NFC East, and they would still stay in that 2 seed. The Eagles would still be in the 5th seed. Again, the 3rd seed, the Lions are locked in at the 3 seed. The 4th seed, that's an interesting one too. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Atlanta. That NFC South is a pretty much that division, and they all tied up in there together. The Buccaneers, if they win, I believe they will win that division. If they lose, and because the Falcons and the Saints are playing against each other, so if the Buccaneers lose, I think they pretty much out, and it depends on what the Falcons and Saints do. So that's kind of all jumbled up as well. Again, like I said, the 5th seed that could flip flop between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I believe the Rams are locked in at the 6th seed, if I'm not mistaken. Now the 7th seed is still kind of up for grabs because the Packers could get that 7th seed if they got to beat the Bears, but they're going to need some help somewhere along the line. So the Packers are still on the outside looking in. Packers are at the Bears. That is the late window game. So as you can see, I'm drinking some good old water, and this might turn to muscatel or something later if the Packers somehow lose that game to the Bears. So this is right now, this is what the projected playoff picture is going to be. So we still got a lot to sort out. We got a lot of games in the late window. It's a lot of the 3:25 p.m. games because I think the NFL switched that so teams couldn't be scoreboard watching. Because again, a lot of those teams that's looking to position themselves, a lot of them are playing in that 3:25 window, and so they can't look and see who's doing what. The noon games, Browns and Bengals, that's nobody cares. The Vikings at Lions, that's a big game. The Vikings win, they still got a shot. Jaguars at Titans, that's a big game again in the noon window. Falcons at Saints, that's a big game. Bucks at Panthers, that's a big game as well in the noon window. So then we got the 3:25 window again. The Bears at the Packers, which I will be watching, and I will be looking both, going back and forth between that. Cowboys at the Commanders and the Eagles at the Giants. And again, the big game tonight, the Sunday night game, Bills at the Dolphins. Whoever wins that wins the AFC East. The Dolphins have already clinched the playoff berth, and we'll see what happens. So that is what's going on with the playoff picture. This is, again, the last week of the regular season. We're going to have Black Monday jumping off tomorrow because there's going to be some coaches that's probably going to be getting pink slips. And speaking of that, Sports Illustrated reported that Washington Commanders are expected to fire head coach Ron Rivera on Monday. The Commanders are 4-12. Again, the Commanders are hosting the Cowboys today at 3:25. In his 4 years with the Washington, Rivera has been 26-39. So again, Sports Illustrated is reporting that the Commanders and their new ownership group, Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and others, they are expected to relieve Ron Rivera of his head coaching duties. So where would that leave Eric Bieniemy? He looked like he might be out on the street too. I don't know if they will retain him, but I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. And just for your information, today is Ron Rivera Born Day. So what a way to celebrate your Born Day. Hopefully you might get a win today. If you lose, either way, according to reports, that he's going to be out of a job come tomorrow. Now let's move to the Steelers. The Steelers got that big W, but they may have gotten a big loss as well. Steelers linebacker T.J. Watt is being reported that he has suffered a grade 3 left MCL sprain after his second sack versus the Ravens on yesterday afternoon. He would leave the game. He would want to return, but they wouldn't allow him. So T.J. Watt might be, if the Steelers make the playoffs, they need some help too. If they make the playoffs, they probably are going to be without his services. Now, he leads the league in sacks with 19. He's the second player in NFL history to have multiple 19-plus sack seasons. Can you guess who else did it? I'll give you a second. Matter of fact, I take a drink of my Green Bay Packers. It's water right now, but it's going to be something else during the football games. All right, time's up. If you didn't know, actually it stayed in the family. His brother, J.J. Watt, is the only other player to ever do that, to have multiple 19-plus sack seasons. So T.J. Watt keeps it in the family. And so, again, Pittsburgh, they on the outside looking in right now. They need some help. But also I have to say, head coach Mike Tomlin, he made some history too. In his 17 seasons with the Steelers, he has not had a losing season, and that streak continues. That's a heck of a record to be a head coach at that level. 17 seasons, never had a losing season. I mean, that's a lot to be said. But I also think that Coach Tomlin, and I'm a Tomlin fan. I think, man, he might be on a hot seat in Pittsburgh, and I said that in a couple of shows back last year. And but we'll see. Congratulations, Coach Tomlin, with that. And if they do decide to go a different direction, the Steelers don't fire coaches. If they do, believe me, Coach Tomlin won't be out of work long. And speaking of coaches that might be out of work, we're going to stay in the AFC. There's been reports, and there's been rumored the last couple of weeks that that guy up in New England, the 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach, Bill Belichick, looked like he and the Patriots could be discussing a divorce. And that's been rumored and been reported the last couple of weeks. Bill Belichick he's going to go down as one of the greatest head coaches of all time. He won 6 of those chips there in New England, but this season has been it's been his worst season in New England. And they play the Jets, by the way, today, so it's not a meaningful game. And so the rumor is that possibly he and Robert Kraft could talk it out, but I'm sure they'll take their time, and he could. This could be his last game coaching at Gillette Stadium. I think it's still called Gillette Stadium. So we'll see with that. And again, most likely, if he does decide to go a different route, his name is going to be on the short list. He's going to be one of the top commodities because, we got the Chargers looking for it. They got an opening. They fired Brandon Staley. The Raiders, they fired Josh McDaniels. Interim head coach Antonio Pierce is getting a lot of love from the Raiders players. They want him to become the permanent guy. The Carolina Panthers fired Frank Reich a couple of weeks ago. So those are 3 openings right there. And again, it could possibly be 4 if tomorrow what the reports are saying are true, that the Commanders will fire Ron Rivera. So there you have it on that coaching spot. I do want to report also one injury update. According to ESPN, that Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence will play today. I think I had mentioned that earlier just to make sure that if you missed that he will play, because that's a big game versus the Titans. Again, AFC South. If the Jaguars win that game, they win the division. Most likely, if they lose, they are out for the season. So we got, again, NFL playoffs, got all this jockeying for position. A lot of the games, the big game, meaningful games, are in the 325 window. Then we got that big game tonight in Buffalo, Dolphins at Buffalo for the AFC East Championship, and that number 2 seed. And also just an update on the Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Dolphins. I don't know if you saw the report a couple of days ago that his house caught fire. His nice 9,700 square feet house was on fire. And I read an update. It was contained in one room, but according to reports that a child was playing with a lighter and caused that fire. No one was hurt. Nobody was hurt or anything like that, but it has some severe damage to one room and some other damages to another part of the house. So glad everybody's okay. Tyreek Hill is okay, and according to our reports that he's going to play tonight. I'm sure that's not going to keep him off the field. Now, let's stay in football. We're going to the college level. Tomorrow night, we got a big game going down in H-Town. National championship game. We got number 1 ranked Michigan Wolverines versus the number 2 ranked Washington Huskies. Again, that's going down for the national championship. The Final 4 is down to the Final 2. We had some really great semifinal games last week. As you can see, we had, again, Michigan got here in an overtime victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl, and the Washington Huskies got here with that 37-31 victory over the Texas Longhorns in the Sugar Bowl in the offensive shootout. Both those games were very entertaining, but now it's Michigan versus Washington. You got quarterback Michael Penix Jr. for the Huskies, who's definitely can spin that football, man. He had a heck of a game versus the Longhorns. Michigan's defense going to have to slow them down. See if they can continue. If they can, well, they slowed. They slowed Jalen Milroe down versus when they played Bama. They sacked him 6 times. Will they be able to put that same type of pressure on Penix Jr.? They definitely going to have to. I think that Michigan defense is going to be. It's going to be a tough one. So we're going to see how that works out for them. As far as on the offensive side of the ball for the Wolverines, quarterback J.J. McCarthy, he's just been a steady hand for that team. That's it. He's nothing flashy about him. Steady hand. And they lean on their running back, Blake Corum, who's been getting it done. So you got the head coaches. You got the veteran, the guy that's kind of been there, hadn't pulled off a national championship yet, but you got head coach John Harbaugh versus Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer. It's funny, I looked up some background information on Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Washington, and I didn't realize this was his second year as a Huskies head coach. I didn't realize that. He's 24-2 over 2 years with Washington. And most of his coaching experience is from the NAIA level. So you could say that this guy, he's taking the country by storm. Again, I didn't know much about him. Looked up a little of his information. He did play college football, but he played at the Division II level. So again, we got the somewhat of the rookie head coach versus the veteran. So that's something else to look at when you watch this game about adjustments. Which coach is going to be able to make adjustments and know when to make those. Now, as far as the injuries, I think the only one I read about that could possibly affect this game is Washington Huskies running back Dylan Johnson. I did see some things that he would not play, but I don't think that's the case. I don't know what the injury was pertaining to, but I think they're going to be all hands on deck again. This is for all the marbles. Michigan, Washington, Michigan come from the Big Ten. Ohio State has been the team that's won a couple of national championships in the last couple of years coming from the Big Ten. As far as Washington, we know it's always pretty much been USC playing for national championships out of that conference. So now we definitely going to get some new blood this year that's going to hoist up that trophy. And then next year, we won't have nobody falling out and being pissed off about their teams getting the shot. Again, the Florida State situation we had with not getting into that Final Four. I still think the committee got it wrong, regardless of them getting beat down by Georgia. Not making any excuses, but Florida State didn't even have half their starters there. So Georgia was supposed to beat them, but that's neither here nor there. But this game right here, I'm looking for a good one. I like this kid, Michael Penix Jr., man. I think this young fella, he got what it takes. But I'm looking for this game to be just as good as those national semifinal games that we were able to watch. Again, it's going down at NRG Stadium in Houston, 6:30 p.m. Monday night. And I just want to know who you got. If you watch this later, make sure you put in the comments national championship game, who you got, and the score. Do that for me. And I always go back and read the comments and whatnot and try to answer everyone. So I want to know who you got. I'm going with Michigan. As much as I think Washington got the offensive firepower, I think Michigan's defense showed me something versus Alabama. They can get after the quarterback, and they can do that, and they pretty stiff against the run too. So I think I'm going with Michigan, not because of what they do offensively, because of what they do defensively. I think Michigan will win this game. I think it'll be like 23 to 20, Michigan over Washington. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think this is going to be a blowout or a shootout or offensively, but I do think it's going to be a close one. And see if Michigan be the only other team from the Big Ten to win the national championship in the last 15 years. It's been a minute. It's either Ohio State or Alabama. That's who it's been the last couple of years. You sprinkle in Georgia, which has been the dominant team the last couple of years. Sprinkle them in. The Longhorns won one way back then, so it's really been an Alabama-Georgia thing and Ohio State thing the last couple of years. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'm definitely going to have my eyes glued on that. I may do a cut-in or something at halftime just to get your thoughts on that on Monday night. All right. We're going to stay in college football. We're going to a story that a lot of people may not have been interested in, but I was, because I was actually shocked when I saw this come down. Florida A&M Rattlers head coach Willie Simmons resigned on Monday to become the Duke Blue Devils running back coach under Manny Diaz. Now, he and Manny Diaz, at first I said on original piece that they worked together But then I read something today where they really they were familiar with each other, but their time at Middle Tennessee overlapped. So they technically didn't work with each other at the FBS level, but they knew of each other because they worked at the same school. But what Willie Simmons, after 6 years at FAMU, just decided that I want to take that track to get it into the FBS world and become a head coach. He decided to resign after 6 years, successful years at Florida A&M. As you can see in the ticker, I put down his stats and whatever. And I said in the piece that I did, I hate to see any up and coming good solid coach leave the HBCU world, because I really believe that the HBCU football and athletics in general, they need the good coaches to stay so we can get this thing rolling. But I can understand why they can't, because financially they can't. They don't have the resources. He was only making $300,000 a year at FAMU, and he's been there 6 years. So obviously, he probably, when he first started as a head coach there, he probably was making high 100s maybe. And in Florida, that's not a lot of money. When you think about it, far as a head coach, that's not a lot of money. But at the HBCU level, it's a whole different ball game. They don't have the resources. They don't have the financial backings that you get, at the FBS level with these schools with big time alumni and donors and all that. Obviously, you're gonna have your donors giving back to their HBCU schools. I'm sure they do as what they do as best as they can. But you would like to see the level, the playing field level for HBCUs, as well as you got the PWIs, and to see Willie Simmons leave Florida A&M. I was disappointed, but just like when Coach Prime left Jackson State, I didn't want to see him leave there, but I understand the assignment. You hate to say it, but the HBCU level is kind of like where you get your feet wet, so to speak. You get a little experience. Then if you do well there, then you hope the eyeballs get on you. And I have to say, Coach Prime, when he went to Jackson State a few years ago, the spotlight came with him, and that did highlight HBCU football, which actually helped the Willie Simmons, the Fred McNairs. I don't want to talk about, he was at Alcorn State. There's a big stink going on with that. With him in Texas Southern down there. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But Willie Simmons, man, when you talk about his legacy at Florida A&M, everybody has glowing words, nothing but praise for what he's done for that program at there. Then I did read some negative stuff about people want to talk about the administration, drop the ball, this and that. I'm not neither here nor there to throw stones at the administration. I did read what they did, what they could to keep him. They offered him what they could. But again, I'm sure the salary at Duke, which is an ACC school, and it's not a big time football program, but it's coming up. But him probably going there to be the running back coach, I'm sure he's probably doubling, tripling his salary from where he was making as a head coach. Because at first I said, why would you want to leave a head coach position to go be a position coach at Duke? I might would have been like, if he went to like Georgia or Alabama or Texas or Florida State or Oklahoma or UCLA or USC, Michigan, Ohio State, just to name a few, I would have been like, okay, I get that. That makes sense. But then Duke, of all schools, but it's an up-and-coming school. So, again, and it's in the ACC. So, again, but, I definitely want to give shout out to Coach Simmons. He did his thing, Florida A&M. They won the Celebration Bowl just last month, defeating Howard University. And the Celebration Bowl is what they call the mythical Black College Football National Championship. So he's able to do that with a 12-1 season this year as the head man at Florida A&M. So we're going to see. I want to see him do well, but I also want to see these HBCUs be able to keep and retain good coaches. And what that means is we got to pool our resources as a people. We got a whole lot of money with entertainers and athletes, and pool our resources and start, and helping our own institutions and try to drive our athletes that way. And I know it's hard to compete. Tell a kid, 18-year-old kid, if he got a shot to go to Texas or Oklahoma, or Texas A&M or Alabama or Georgia, and you compare what they got to offer as far as facilities and NIL deals to a Florida A&M, of course, any kid is going to choose that. I'm not knocking that. All I'm saying is, let's bring the HBCU schools up to the level where they can at least compete with their offers. Obviously, it's not going to ever be on the level of those PWIs, but at least get it at a level where they can at least get in, get a seat at the table and be part of the discussion. That's my whole thing with that. So again, Coach Simmons leaving Florida A&M to head to Duke to be the running back coach under head coach, the new head coach there, Manny Diaz. Speaking of that, he's taking the place of the former the coach that left and took the Texas A&M job. So again, congratulations to Coach Simmons, and again, I'm gonna keep you locked. I'm gonna keep you informed on anything that happens on the HBCU level. That's for doggone sure. One other thing I just want to chat about. I did read that the NBA has reinstated Golden State Warriors Draymond Green after 12 games. They suspended him indefinitely after that cheap shot he did to the Sun center Joseph Nurkic. He had been suspended indefinitely. We didn't know what indefinitely was. They didn't put a timetable on it, but according to reports, he's completed what he needed to complete as far as counseling and all the other things that he needed to do to be reinstated. And so again, Draymond Green will be back with the Golden State Warriors, who I think are right now sitting in the 9th or 10th spot in the Western Conference. And he's gonna, I guess, bring back the edge, but I don't think he give him anything else. I think Draymond is an average basketball player, and I said that. I think he's that guy that's your emotional leader. But what they need is a guy that can put some that can score and defend, and I think all those better days are behind him, in my opinion. So if you didn't know, Draymond Green has been reinstated after his 12-game suspension, and he lost he lost a little chunk of change with that too. But we'll see what happens now with the Warriors. So again, this has been one more thing I want to report. It just came down to Golden State Warriors lost their point guard Chris Paul with a hand injury. He's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So again, they get a player back and they lose a player. So again, if you didn't know, Chris Paul with the Warriors, he injured his hand a couple of nights ago. They say now he's going to be out at least 4 to 6 weeks. So again, that's your NBA news. So I just wanted to jump on here, do my first live stream for the new year. Hope anybody that watches this, you go back and watch this, check it out, hit that like button, share it, put it in the comments what you think about the NFL playoffs, who you think is going to make it through. I was talking with a couple of buddies on yesterday. Some say they think the Ravens going to get upset. Some said that the 49ers might going to get upset, those 1 seeds. I think it's going to be tough to beat either one of them. I think the Ravens are injuries, withstanding. I think the Ravens are playing great, and they got, to me, the MVP at the quarterback position for this year, the regular season MVP, Lamar Jackson. I think he solidified that with his performance versus the Dolphins. As far as the 49ers, I think they clicking in all phases. I do know Christian McCaffrey, he's nursing a calf injury, but he's not playing today. So he should be ready to go when it's time. The wild card round playoffs actually they kick off next week. There's going to be a Monday night game next week as well. If you don't remember, the NFL had a Monday night. Last year was the first year they had a wild card NFL Monday game on Monday night. So they will do that again this year. So the wild card rounds kicks off next week. Ravens right now, it's looking like a Ravens 49ers, but the thing about this, and it's 14 teams in there. Everybody's 0-0 once the tournament starts. So anything can happen. It's not like a 6 seed made it to the Super Bowl before. The Steelers done it as a 6 seed and won it, and the Packers have done it as a 6 seed as well. So anything can happen once you get into that tournament. But right now, the favorites have to be the Ravens and the 49ers. And until somebody show me otherwise, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with the Ravens, 49ers Super Bowl, and in Vegas, by the way. So the Super Bowl is is in Vegas. So we'll see who's going to roll the dice, who's going to hit 21 in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I am your sports guy, Kendrick. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channels. That is TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SporTZ here on YouTube. And make sure you like and follow TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. Make sure you can follow me on Instagram as well. That's Kendrick1969. You also can follow me on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51. So make sure you follow me, subscribe to all the channels. Go watch some of the videos on the YouTube channels. We getting close to getting monetized. Just need to get those watch hours up. Just go watch some of the stories I've done. I try to do things that I think you find interesting, and also I want to do stuff that's breaking and getting it to you first, and then do some opinion pieces. I try not to do all that opinion because I really just want to stick to reporting the sports and then kind of get my thoughts on it. Everybody in the YouTube world, the content creators, a lot of guys, they just basically do opinion stuff, reality stuff. Who's they following Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp or whomever. They reacting off of something they said. I do some of that sometimes, but that ain't my thing. I try to do my own thing and stay in my own lane. But I know people gravitate toward messiness and pettiness and negativity, as you saw with this Cat Williams interview, by the way, which is at 32 million views. People loved it, and that video is probably going to be the video interview of the year. And people have their thoughts and comments about that, and I did something on that as well from a sports angle. If you haven't, go check that out on TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. I gave my whole thing on that from a sports angle, from a competition angle. So that was my thing. So go check that out. What up, Real Estate Insider? Thanks for dropping in. I'm about to drop out. We got these kickoffs about to jump off here in 20 something minutes. But make sure you guys, if you watch this later, make sure you go back, watch it, comment. Give me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. I like to know that. We're going to start early because we got the playoffs. The wild card round that actually kicks off next week and weekend. So I want to know your thoughts on all that and all that good stuff. So make sure you do that. Put that in the comments. Make sure you like and share this to all your social media platforms. So again, I'm going to let you guys get ready for these noon kickoffs for the NFL. Again, the big games are really going to be this afternoon, this 3:25. We got the Cowboys at the Commanders, and we got the Giants at the Eagles. I know the Cowboys fans and the Eagles fans are going to be watching those games intently. This is how it goes down. If the Cowboys win and the Eagles lose, the Cowboys win the NFC East and they get the number 2 seed in the NFC. If the Cowboys lose and the Eagles win, the Eagles win the NFC East. They the 2 seed in the NFC, Cowboys the 5th seed. Vice versa. If the Cowboys win the NFC East, they're the 2 seed. The Eagles are the 5th seed if they lose. Now, if both teams lose, then it goes to a tiebreaker. And I believe the Cowboys will still win the NFC East because they have the better divisional record. That means the teams in their division, they got the better divisional record. So the Cowboys would win the NFC East if both teams lose. So that's that. There's a whole bunch of other scenarios for other teams. But again, the playoff picture is really going to be settling once we get all these games in the 3:25 window, once we get all those played and all those done. So again, make sure you like and subscribe to this. Make sure, and if you so kindly will, you can also contribute you can cash app your boy. It's right there. If you want to invest in me and invest in these shows on TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle, believe me, I will turn that money back into investing in myself, i.e. and putting it in new equipment, new laptop, which I need, some new mics, even some cameras where I can go out and shoot and video and create my own content and get my own editing software on a computer and edit my own stuff, which I do that now, but I'm doing it all on my phone. But again, I'm rocking with this in 2024, man. Just want to let you guys know I'm winning. I plan to win. TFG Sports Media plan to win. Kendrick Sports also plans to win. The TFG Media Group plans to win. If you're not familiar with that, go check out the TFG Media Group. The Real Estate Insider, Lamb Levity, Hims and Hers, or Hers and Hims. I probably got that wrong. Shantae Gibson, producing Charles Moore, but you know what I'm talking about. Real Talk for Real Men. Go check out some of the shows, man. The TFG Media Group. We plan to win. We winning in 24. More in 2024. You feel me? And I hope you win too. Whatever your endeavors is, whatever you invested in, I want you to win too. We all can eat out here in this social media world. So I want everybody to win. So again, I guess that was my little editorial at the end. So I'm gonna get off of here and gotta go make sure my Packers got it going. Got my Packers. That's my name, Kendrick. Don't forget, Kendrick the sports guy. Got to make sure my Packers get this win over the Bears so somehow maybe we can sneak in the playoffs and make it do what it do. So again, I'm Kendrick, your sports guy. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.